Fight fans all over the world, it's Daddy Pete with Slap Happy Gorilla. What? Hey, Jaron Ennis, Karen Chuckhadzian. Look, the rematch. Everybody talking about the rematch. Hey, look. First of all, let me take my hat off to Jaron Ennis. Hey, look. Homecoming fight. You know, Bam Rodriguez on the card. Hey, look, man, it was a great night of boxing. And I'm going to say this. It was a great fight. Jaron Ennis and Chuckhadzian. I'm going to say Karen because I don't know, I don't want to butcher no names. But, hey, look, you got people coming out the woodwork talking about Ennis is, he been exposed. And you got Brian Norman Sr. calling for the fight between his son and Jaron Ennis. Listen. We go talk about this, man. This Daddy Pete with Slap Happy Gorilla Boxing. Hey, like, hate, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time we drop new content. Hey, we go get straight to it. Listen. Okay, so, hey, look, man. Jaron Ennis, hey, a lot of people talking about how he got hit by Karen Chuckhadzian. They saying that the scores is not adding up. Look, it was a win. He did win by a great margin. He got hit. I mean, it's boxing. Boxers are going to get hit. Now, what I will say is with Jaron Ennis, Bozy Ennis, they, talking about the future, fighting big fights, even at one point calling out Terence Crawford. Yeah, there's some things to be tightened up. Even in the press conference talked about going up to 154 and possibly facing Ortiz. Listen, yeah, you still gonna have to patch up some holes in your game. Now, what they were saying is, hey, look, he did fight down to the competition and he won't fight other fighters the way that he fought. But this is the thing, man, in anything you do, whether you, fight down the competition, fight up the competition, you still want to have a baseline and you want to be consistent. And the reason why that is, man, you can easily form bad habits. You know what I'm saying? Like I just give an example. Sometime in this fight with his hands down, that is something that can become a bad habit, and you can do that even with, other competition. And you don't want to do that with the likes of Terence Crawford. I mean, even Virgil Ortiz, who is a big puncher. But at the same time, styles do make fights, and, the style of Karen Chuckhadzian just may be a tough style for a matchup with Jaron in his style. I'll say it like that. But, you have elite fighters, you know what I'm saying, that are in the game that can capitalize on some of the mistakes that could become bad habits. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, look, Jaron Ennis, hey, look, he is who he is. I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do. He is athletic in the ring. His athleticism is superior to a lot of these boxers. So while he's young, he's going to get away with some things. But this isn't to say that he does not need to patch up some holes in his game. But all in all, listen. As far as Brian Norman Sr., heavily asking for the fight. A lot of people criticizing him because, hey, before you declined the fight or the money that was offered and it was more money. Hey, look, it is what it is. I agree with Brian Norman. They do need to get it on because they are two champions. You know what I'm saying? They are two champions. Now, Jaron Ennis has satisfied his mandatory by fighting Chuckhadzian. So, I mean, hey, and they have been talking about unification. Brian Norman Sr. is saying that, hey, look, they're all for a unification fight. So I don't see a problem with Brian Norman, you know, calling out Boots. I don't see a problem with it because it's a unification. There are two champions at 147. That is if, in fact, Jaron Ennis is going to stay at 147. Hey, that's as good a fight as any. Now, a lot of people are saying that Brian Norman Jr. is not ready for the likes of Jaron Boots Ennis. Hey, whatever. They still are two champions. So it's a unification fight. It is what it is. He's a champion. Boots is a champion. They need to get it on. We need to have some clarity at this division. And I think that type of fight will bring a new spark to the sport of boxing, as well as that division that has been considered as lackluster, as we've had, it was a hot division. We had some people that's retired, some people that's stagnant, and some people that moved up. Crawford, Spence, they moved up. We don't know what's going on with Spence. Supposed to be getting a fight with Fundora, but he has, mentioned that he's moved up to 154, to try to get a fight. So Terence Crawford has already moved up and become a champion at 154. Then you have the likes of Keith Thurman, who fancies the fact that he's going to come back. I haven't seen anything that's definite. You just see him behind the scenes talking like he wants to fight certain fighters. Supposedly he will move up as well. Sean Porter has retired. Danny Garcia moved up and tried his hand at 160. Didn't work out. So, hey, look, this division, 147, is wide open for a superstar to take over. So the Brian Norman, Jaron Ennis fight is as good a fight as any. I don't hear anybody else that's chopping at the bits to fight Boots Ennis at 147. So what's wrong with Brian Norman with that fight? I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, it's still up to Jaron Ennis if he wants to move up to 154. That still would be a great fight, him and Virgil Ortiz. But still, there again, he's more athletic than Virgil Ortiz. They're both big guys, that came from 147. Ortiz already moved up to 54. But they're both big guys, even for that division. I think that Ennis will fill out very well at 54. But this is the thing. If he moves up to 54, I wouldn't even mind to see him try to acclimate by taking a fight with somebody, then, at 154, that's, even if it's not a name. But that Virgil Ortiz fight, hey, look, that's as good a fight as any as well. So it's all up to Boots Ennis, what he wants to do. I'm sure right after a fight like this at his hometown, he's getting a lot of flack for his performance. So I'm sure he wants to take some time and, look at the landscape and what he really wants to do before he actually comes out, call out a fighter or plan for a fight. But like I say, I take my hat off to Boots Ennis. He's still an exciting fighter. It was a good fight. Exciting fight to watch. He got hit more, but hey, look, he floored. He knocked Chuckhadzian down, and so it was a better fight for both fighters. In the first fight, he didn't get a knockdown. And the first fight, Chuckhadzian ran all around the ring. So this was a good fight for both fighters. And I've heard a lot of people say, hey, we want to see Karen Chuckhadzian against some other guys at 147. I agree with that as well. So, hey, let's see it. Let's see it. I'm all for good boxing. So this is Daddy P. Like, hate, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time it go down. Y'all tell me what y'all think about Jaron Boots Ennis and his future at 147. And do you want to see him move up to 54? This is Daddy P. I'm out of there.